What's up, everyone? Welcome to Level 7. It is time for another episode of the Agents of Fandom podcast. I'm your host, TJ Zwarych, ready to talk about some Wicked for good, and we have a very exciting show ahead of us. I'm joined by two of my favorite people, and I just about said, welcome to Level 7, welcome to the Agents of Fandom, or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. podcast, because I was just busy listening to Love in the Time of Hydra, where we have the wonderful host, Jamie Jirak, here with us. How are you doing, Jamie?
Hi, yes, thank you. It was great to see you in the chat. We just did an episode with the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. makeup artist, RJ McCaslin. It was really insightful. So go check that out when it drops tomorrow, Monday, people, listeners.
It was really cool. I feel like anytime you get somebody who has worked on a show like that, it's a bit of a lottery, because like for a lot of people, it's like, oh yeah, it was work. I don't really remember much of what was going on at the time. I was just like, I was working, and then I moved on to the next thing afterwards. But he was so awesome. He had so much insight, so much behind the scenes, so many behind the scenes stories. That was a really fun episode. So go check out Jamie over at Love and Time of Hydra, as well as at Phase Hero. They got some really great stuff coming. And speaking of people who are hosting a great podcast, because Rachel Tolleson joining us today. And Rachel, you have me interested in watching Hazbin Hotel, which I've never seen before, but it's just because I want to listen to your podcast.
You should watch it. It's so good. The second season was so fun. I think, yeah. If you enjoy it, please check out Hazbin Hotel Pod on Instagram, TikTok. We're having a grand old time interviewing some of the cast. We've got some other interviews where we're getting scheduled, haven't quite gotten those, so check back after the holiday. But it's been a lot of fun discussing it and kind of like breaking down the music. But TJ, you will like it. I think you should really watch it.
It does seem kind of like my jam, so something I am definitely going to check out here in the near future. But I got too much to watch right now because there is so much good stuff coming up. We had a little break. There wasn't much going on for a little bit, and now it's all starting to pile on. We just did our breakdown last weekend with the other Rachel, our friend Rachel Leishman, for The Running Man, and we had Kleinfeld from the Direct on for that one as well. Next week, we're going to be talking Knives Out, Wake Up Dead Man, as well as the first batch of episodes from the final season of Stranger Things. Then after that, we have Percy Jackson and the Olympians, more Stranger Things, Avatar, Fire and Ash, Wonder Man in January. It's just non-stop content. So make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our shows. Make sure you subscribe to the Agents Fandom wherever you get your podcasts, and you can also find us on socials at Agents Fandom on TikTok and Twitter, Agents of Fandom everywhere else. We all got these wonderful things that we're trying to keep up with and watch right now, so I do want to know what you're watching. What are the things you've been enjoying on your own time? Jamie, I will throw it to you first. You always have such a wealth of movies that have been like on tap the past few days, so I can't wait to hear what you've been watching.
Well, it's funny because all I'm doing right now is doing my Stranger Things binge rewatch, which is one of my favorite things to do. I've seen every episode of that show so many times. It's just like the perfect show. And I'm a little stressed about the final season because you always are, but I'm also easy to please. I don't even hate the final season of Game of Thrones. Is it perfect? No, but I don't hate it. Like, you have to really fuck up for me to hate it. So, I'm ready. I broke one of my number one tattoo rules, which is don't get a tattoo of something before the show's over. And I do have a pretty big Demogorgon tattoo. So, I love it. It's so good. It's been really fun to revisit, especially season 4, because I've only seen that a couple times. And so that's where I'm at now. Otherwise, Wicked is the big thing right now, but we're going to be talking about that. And I feel like, honestly, I haven't really watched many new things because I was just in New Jersey, and my father was doing like the old cable flick. So I watched some classics on cable for I haven't done that in years. And I just want to say that watching movies on cable is so much better than watching them on a streaming service with ads, because movies are edited to have commercials on cable, but in ads with streaming, they just cut in the middle of a scene. And I wish that we could have that again. So that's, I watched Back to the Future 2 and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, 2 classics.
Oh yeah, 2 absolute classics. The most recent, I've informed both of you about it. My quest to watch as many classic, critically acclaimed movies of all time that are just like blind spots for me, it has slowed down.
Mhm.
And so I was on like such a good groove for like 2 straight months of at least one movie per day, just checking them off my list. And I have slowed down pretty significantly just because of the amount of TV I've been watching. Binge the entirety of Stranger Things. Lately, I've been watching The Morning Show. I watched the entirety of the first season of Stick on Apple TV. That was one of the shows that I just kind of threw on in the background while I did other stuff. Very lighthearted and fun. And then right now, the only movie that I recently have watched outside of Wicked for Good was Arrival, which I thought was
Mm.
good, but I didn't quite get the hype of like one of the best 10 movies of the last decade kind of things. Like it wasn't
what I
on
said to
that
you.
level for me.
I love TJ's text. I love when TJ texts me about the movies he's watching, and I was like, "Yeah, for me, Arrival's absolutely a top 10 of the last decade." No,
And you're like, so you and like 3 or 4 other people said that to me, and I'm like,
I wonder if it's
maybe a
because
sin.
well, no, I wonder if it's because you didn't get into it when it first came out. Like you didn't watch it like
Maybe.
in theaters, and you were part of the hype when it first
theater
came
is
out.
important. Theatrical
is.
for a movie
It's
like
very it's incredibly important.
And so this may be a sin. And I am not finalizing this take yet. This is not a take that I'm setting in stone because I have more work to do. I have more research to do. I have not seen Sicario. I have not seen Blade Runner 2049. I have not seen Prisoners. So I have a lot of work to do. But from watching Arrival, watching Dune Part 2, I do wonder, maybe I'm just not a Denis Villeneuve guy. I find Dune I found boring. Dune Part 2 I thought was fun, but I didn't get the hype. Arrival was my favorite of the 3, but still felt like I wasn't as high on it as everybody else. So I do have to watch more movies before I can say for sure. But I am beginning to wonder if maybe I'm just not a Denis Villeneuve guy.
I just want to say, Dune is boring. That's not his fault.
It is,
like,
that's
just Dune.
The first one's so boring. Like, no offense to Dune. Like, I think it is a wonderful movie, but it's set. There's so much exposition and setting up in that movie that it's like you gotta get through it. The second one's a lot more fun.
I would rather watch Lynch's Dune, even though it's significantly like not as good in terms of filmmaking, just because like it's weird, and I'd rather watch something weird than. But I just think in general, I don't think you can put Dune on Denis because he's just following the source material. He's really that's just what it is.
He's just doing his best.
Exactly, that's a very fair point. I actually do have. So I taught French. I taught 5 years of French immersion here in Saskatchewan before I quit and started just doing fantasy football and Agents of Fandom full time. And I had 2 colleagues. One of them was actually a former teacher of mine in high school, and he ended up being a colleague. But 2 colleagues who went to high school with Denis Villeneuve, Trois-Rivières, Quebec. And all 3 of them went to high school together. 2 of my teachers and Denis Villeneuve. So I thought that was pretty cool. But Rachel, how about you? What you been watching?
Gosh, honestly, a lot of it was Hazbin. Rewatching it, prepping, watching season 2 a million times. I recently started The Lowdown, which has been very fun because it's just Ethan Hawke in a crisis every episode for some reason, and I love Ethan Hawke in a crisis. Obviously, I saw The Running Man. That was fine. It was fun. I need to read the book. That's an adaptation, and I haven't read the book first yet, so now it's on my list of things to
Have you seen
read
the
and
Arnold
compare.
movie?
No, I haven't seen that one.
I've never read the book, but I love the Arnold movie, which is I'll see the new one. I haven't yet, but like I'm a big fan of that one.
I hear a lot of people like that, so I think I'm gonna probably I'll finish the book and then I'll go back and I'll watch that one because I am kind of curious about.
I do think it's a bad adaptation. I don't think that the Arnold movie is anything like the book, but I still recommend.
No, yeah, like I will 100% still watch it. Like I genuinely, there's a lot of Stephen King that I have not read that I have been meaning to read, so I'm kind of trying to work through all of his stuff at some point in my life. Since he has 1,000 books and novellas out there for people to read. So I'm slowly making my way through it. But yeah, it's like either way, I'm not if I can like and hate both of I can like the adaptation or hate the adaptation, like the book, whatever. It's fine. I'm like they're separate materials. They're different mediums for it. So
I have a
But yeah,
funny
that
Ethan Hawke story just because I have to bring it up because it's my obligation every show. Once per show,
please.
I got to talk about Avatar: The Last Airbender. And one of the reasons I love Ethan Hawke is because Ethan Hawke loves Avatar: The Last Airbender. And I was just listening to one of the more recent episodes on the Braving the Elements podcast. Maya Hawke and her brother were guests because they both love it, and they introduced it to their dad. And so I just can't help but picture the three of them watching Avatar: The Last Airbender together on the couch, and he's just like getting into it, asking questions. But even better than that, the way they got introduced to it, like Maya Hawke and her brother, I can't remember her brother's name off the top of my head, I apologize. They introduced it to their dad, Ethan Hawke, but it was their mom, Uma Thurman, who was actually the one who introduced it to them. Because apparently Uma Thurman used to run on the treadmill watching Avatar: The Last Airbender. And then she was like, wow, this is so good. I have to tell my kids. I have to show my kids this show. And that just makes me so happy.
Can't imagine
so
having
awesome.
parents that are that cool. Like
Right?
I listened to her on Amy Poehler's podcast, and she was talking about her parents, like the way she was raised, and I'm like, that's so cool. You're so cool.
How fucking funny was the Tarantino joke?
Oh, I
She was
actually
so quick.
I hate jokes about Tarantino and feet because I think it's boring and old hat, but that
It
made
is-
me laugh. She
If you could
really got
reinvent
me.
it.
Yeah, she got me with that one.
Amy Poehler asked her, like, what advice did your mom give you about working with Tarantino? And for me, it was just the fact that she didn't skip a beat. It was so fast. Always keep your shoes on. Always keep your shoes on. And I was like, damn, okay, Maya, that was good shit. Rachel, what else have you been watching?
Gosh, this is my time of year when I just watch reality TV. So I've got The Amazing Race, I've got Hell's Kitchen, enjoying those things. I'm gonna turn my brain off and just watch this kind of deal. Recently took my roommate Sophie to the re-release of Back to the Future because she had never seen it. Sorry to put you on blast, Sophie. Yeah, she'd never seen it.
That's cool. What a cool way to see it for the first time.
I was like,
That's
I'm like,
dope.
you have to see it this way. And she enjoyed it. So that was exciting.
Have you since made her watch 2 and 3?
I have not yet made her watch 2 and 3, but they are on my list of things to do once things begin to slow down a little bit. Because now I get all the FYC movies that I'm gonna watch and everything. So it's like, maybe in January. But that's
It's pretty
what
cool
I've
to
been
see Michael
watching.
J. Fox doing so many conventions these days. Like he's been
I
popping back and
love it.
forth to all of these ones.
Mhm.
It's like it's so cool to see, like, he was kind of disappeared from the public limelight for a while, and it's so good to see him doing well enough that he's just like, yep, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. I remember when I was watching Ava, my partner, watched the entirety of The Good Wife for binged it start to finish like a year or two ago, and it was so fun to see him pop up in that show. He is really, really good in it. I forgot to bring it up, I watched Highest to Lowest as well on Apple TV, enjoyed it a fair amount. Didn't think it was anything special, but I liked it.
Have you seen High and Low?
No, I actually didn't know this was a sequel.
I'm sorry, it's a remake.
Okay.
It's a remake, and the original is incredible. It's a Japanese film from I think 50s or 60s. I wish Tony was here; he'd know the exact age. The original is amazing. You should definitely check it out. I haven't watched the new one yet, but
very cool, very cool. I did enjoy it. Just like there were some parts that I thought dragged a bit, but Denzel's just so incredible that like I could watch a terrible movie with Denzel and I would enjoy it, and that was a good movie with Denzel, so I thought it was a really good time. I think it's time to start diving into Wicked. We'll start with the spoiler-free nature of it all, and before we actually talk about the movie, I would love to know both of your relationships with the story. Is it from the musical? Is it from the book? How many times have you seen the musical? Because like one of the best parts about one of the things I love listening to the Phase Hero podcast is Brandon always geeking out about how much he loved the first Wicked, and I haven't actually gotten to see his thoughts on the second one yet, but how much he was geeking out about the first one and just having no idea what was going to go down. I also hadn't seen the stage show, but I fall somewhere in the middle of like, I know the general story, but not who each of the characters turn into and things like that. So that was really fun when I'm watching the first one and sitting in the theater and just like quietly whispering to Ava, does he become as Jonathan Bailey singing Dancing Through Life and talking about not having a brain, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
Like, hold
Jamie,
on.
I'll throw it to you first. What is your relationship with this story?
I love this question, especially because when you gave me like, which upcoming Agents of Fandom do you want to be on? And I picked Wicked because I didn't think Fate's Hero would do a Wicked. And then we did. So I feel bad if I'm just like repeating the same thoughts, but we didn't talk about my history, which is I went to a performing arts high school for theater. And my high school experience was awesome. I had 4 classes a day and 2 were always theater every day. And Wicked was like at its peak popularity, like came out right before I started high school. It was like at its peak when I was in high school. And that's, where I met my best friend there. And then about a decade later, we got For Good tattoos. I have For Good here, which is so funny that Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo got them on their hands because now people are going to think I copied them. But I've had this for like 12 years. But you can tell mine's old because it's not.
I was going to say, show them how like aged it is.
It's like blown out. It's really blown out. But then, so that's always been like our thing. And then and I always say Thayer is the alphabet in my Glinda. And then I have 2 best friends. My best friend Jake, we met also doing musical theater. We met in a production of Rocky Horror. He was Frankenfurter and I was Magenta. And now Wicked, he loves Ariana Grande. I went to the premiere of the first movie because he was in the 0.01% of listeners of Ariana Grande on Spotify. And so he got invited as a fan. So Tony calls him Prince Ariana Grande because he's like, you have to listen to a lot of Ariana Grande to get invited to the premiere.
That's a lot.
I know.
There's a lot of people who listen to a lot of Ariana Grande.
Exactly.
So that's an impressive artist to be at number 1.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I always say that Jake is the Glinda to my Elphaba. So like they're very we both have very different relationships. My two besties, and so Jake and I went on Thursday to see the new one. We sadly didn't get to go to the premiere for the second one. And we saw it, we went to dinner, and then we're like, let's go again. So we saw it twice on Thursday. It's just I just have such special relationships with like my 2 best friends very separately with Wicked, and the fact that, it's all about best friends. So I love it very much. Oh, and I've seen it twice on Broadway. I guess that's important too. I saw it in 2005 and I saw it in like 2016 maybe.
What's been I am not familiar with the history of the Broadway play and like how long it has run for. Is it something that is just like always on somewhere, or is it that something where it's basically you had Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth in their big run and that was it?
Yeah, it's been at the Gershwin since it opened at the Gershwin, right?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I think 2003, 4?
2003-ish. I think, 2003 or 2004, because it was when I was in like middle school.
How much of that run has been Kristen Chenoweth and Idina Menzel? When did they stop?
They were not.
It wouldn't have been a whole year. I think that when I went in 2005, I was at like the 2nd or 3rd cast by then. So by the time they were winning Tonys and stuff, they're done.
I'm trying to let me see. Oh yeah, Idina Menzel's was in January of 2005. So I'm assuming probably. I don't remember how long.
So I would have just missed her. I probably went November 2005 because my grandma always took me when I visited for Thanksgiving.
One of the first press conferences I ever did was for the second Enchanted movie. And they were talking about in it how one of the writers or directors, I can't remember, was talking about how I didn't notice it until the movie was done. And I have never felt stupider than realizing we had Idina Menzel in a movie that's a musical and we didn't have her sing.
That's why they needed a sequel.
It's a wasted opportunity.
Pick anybody else. If this isn't a singing role, pick anybody else. Otherwise, if you're picking Idina Menzel, change the script.
Wasting her.
Write a song.
That's why I liked the sequel, and she gets to sing in the sequel. So
I thought it was fun as well. Rachel, how about you? What's your experience with this story over time? How many times have you seen the musical, and when did you first hear the story?
Oh gosh, well, I was a theater kid as well in high school and a little bit in middle school. I was a choir kid mostly, but I knew of Wicked. I didn't really get into it until, unfortunately, Glee. And then Glee was like my window into being like, what is this? I'm gonna see it. And so I grew up in the Midwest. I grew up near St. Louis, so didn't have access to Broadway. back then. So luckily, I think in like 20, I don't even remember what year, Wicked came through to the Fox Theater there. My mom and I went, we both fell in love with it. And then when it came again, like a couple years later, we went again. And then last year, I finally saw it on Broadway. So that was really lovely. It has absolutely become one of my favorite musicals. I'll see any iteration of it. Fun story, I was in choir from middle school all the way until I graduated high school, and 2 years in a row we sang For Good as like the song at graduation. So every time I listen to For Good, I'm just like, man, remember we sang this 2 years in a row at graduation, because we all just really wanted to sing For Good as many times as we possibly could, apparently. So I have a special attachment to that song. But I made Sophie go see the production of it before the first Wicked came out last year, because I was like, you were not going into this movie without having seen the stage production, because she knew nothing. She had no idea about anything that happened in the second act. She knew a little bit about the first, but like especially the second act, I was like, you have to see the second act. Nobody spoiled us, and we made it.
I didn't know anything like super detailed about the story other than that it was a Wizard of it starts as a Wizard of Oz prequel and kind of ends simultaneously. And so I was able to piece a lot of story pieces together, especially after watching the first one. But it took me a while to get into musicals. And I think most of it, if I'm being totally honest, was just like internalized misogyny and internalized homophobia as a teenager of being like, no, I can't like that. I can't like, I like sports. I like dude stuff. And then, you know, you get older, you get more mature, you realize you're a little bit of an idiot or a lot of bit of an idiot, and you grow. But what, like, I remember going with my mom to New York, and we went to Aladdin on Broadway. We went to Kinky Boots on Broadway, and I just thought like both of them were incredible. And then what really, really opened my brain and shattered the, hey, these aren't really for me was Tick, Tick, Boom, because that's arguably my favorite movie of all time. It solidified Andrew Garfield as my favorite actor of all time, and I just adore it. I have the entirety of the soundtrack. Is that, I still call that in a musical? I have all the songs, in Tick, Tick, Boom memorized front to back. I just absolutely adored it, and that kind of opened I haven't seen enough. I would love to see more, but that's what kind of made me realize, okay, I've never actually seen a musical I didn't like. So I don't think I can say that I don't like musicals, because I've had a great time every time I fully invest myself in them. Give me our first movie thoughts for Wicked, because this was another movie I just absolutely loved when I saw it in theaters. And I must admit, though, I only saw about 80% of it in theaters, because right as Defying Gravity is like halfway through, screen cut. We wait for like 20 minutes for them to get it back going. They were like, hey, everybody, sorry, if we want to be able to make this work for the next screening, we gotta start like cleaning and getting this sorted for them. And so we ended up getting, like, I was there with Ava, and we got 4 free movie passes between the two of us. And so it actually wasn't that bad, because we saw 80% of the movie and we got 4 free movie passes. But it was months before I actually got to see the last 20 minutes of Wicked. But
so
Jamie, as someone who's been a fan of this for so long, did the first movie meet your expectations? What'd you think?
Yeah, it totally. I loved the first movie. I saw it 4 times in theaters. It's like there are certain things about it. Like, I don't like some of the way it's shot. I don't like all the backlighting and some of the. I don't like the way that like some of it does look very CGI heavy. But like everything else is perfect. The cast is incredible. I don't think Michelle should be Madame Morrible. Because she can't sing, and I think that was a wasted opportunity. There are so many people that could have done that role, but when she's not singing, she's great. And I love her as a human being, as an actor. But for me, 4.5 each way on Letterboxd. Love it. It's become one that's so easy to rewatch. I think I've seen it a total 8 times now, and I love it.
I felt in this, man, and we were getting ahead of things a little bit, a slight spoiler, but barely. I actually enjoyed her as Madame Morrible a lot more in this one than the first one, because although there was still singing in this one, I felt like she had a lot more to do that wasn't singing in this one. So it kind of evened it out a little bit.
Mean. It's fun to watch her be mean.
Yeah, it is. It really is. I felt like I was watching Crazy Rich Asians again. It was awesome. Rachel, what was your thought on when you got to see the first movie? Was it like, did you like Jamie go see it in theaters a bunch of times, or were you like me and went once and then had to wait months to finish the ending?
I saw it twice. Because I went with like Rachel and all of them to go see it right when it came out. And then when I went home for Thanksgiving, since my mom is a fan, I went to go see it with her, which is what I'll do for this one as well. And honestly, I have not rewatched the first one enough times, and mostly it's because I know I'm just gonna cry throughout most of it. I'm like, do I feel like crying today? Will I watch this? But no, the first one was so good. I agree with Jamie. Like there were several lighting choices in that one that I was like, why did you do this? It really kind of took away from how good it was. I wish I would have kept Johnny Bailey a little bit longer, but I'm happy for him. Proud of him, sexiest man alive. But no, it's so good. I
I love that
genuinely,
man
I
so
love the
much.
first
I've
one.
never
I
heard
do
his
too.
American accent, and I still want him to be Batman.
You need to watch Fellow Travelers because his American accent is not perfect, but it's kind of like adorable when he slips when he's
Mm.
speaking. But
I
you're gonna
want him to
be
be
traumatized.
DCU Batman, or I want him to be James Bond. I just want to see him on my screen as much as I possibly can.
I would love
He
him as
better.
Bond. Oh, that would
He would
be.
be the perfect. Oh my god.
There are so many Bond fan casts that I hate, and like that I can get on board with. If
Oh
Tom
yeah.
Holland's next Bond, I'm gonna throw a fit. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
Right now.
that can't happen.
No
I love
offense
my
to
guy
him, but
Tom,
please
but that
don't.
can't happen. That
Please don't.
wouldn't work. Rachel, I'll keep it with you. Lead me into your spoiler-free thoughts on Wicked for Good. Did you think it lived up to the first one? Was it a bit of a disappointment, or was it just good enough to get the job done?
I mean, it was good. I was actually talking about this earlier today. I was like, I need to see it one more time to really kind of solidify my thoughts because I'm going off of like, gut reaction right now. But my thing with it was I wish they would have done a little bit more with it. They have so much source material, and also we didn't need two new original songs. I think that's another thing that really kind of was like, did we need to have those when Wicked has plenty of good songs in the second act? But I didn't hate it. Like, I'm excited to see it again. And it's one of those ones where I'm like, I will absolutely rewatch it. Like, No Good Deed was great. Cynthia killed that, as I knew she would. But yeah, I mean, I'll make a better opinion, but it was good. I will say it was good.
The more I watch Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, the more astounded I am by Cynthia Erivo's singing and Ariana Grande's acting. Because I've always known she can
Mhm.
sing, but like anytime I saw her on SNL or something like that, it would go like, oh wow, she's actually pretty good. She knows what she's doing. That comedic timing is awesome. But
Yeah.
like she's just really a really, really great actor. And I think that's on display in both of these movies. Jamie, how about
Mhm.
you? What were your thoughts on Wicked for Good?
I really loved it, and a part of that is because I did go a second time because the first hour to me is a little weak, but
Mhm.
I feel like once we get to Wonderful, from then on, it was cooking so hard, and I
Yeah.
also gave this a 4.5, but for me, the first Wicked is like 4.5, almost a 5, and this is 4.5, barely almost a 4. So like, but I just had so much fun. I see now. I
Yeah.
disagree. I think that Wicked Act 2 could very much use 2 new songs. Unfortunately, the 2 new songs they wrote weren't that good. That's the problem. Like
Yeah.
No Place Like Home to me is a nothing song. It gives nothing. Girl in the Bubble I like a little more because I think that
Yeah.
Glinda could use a song in that moment, and I think she
Mhm.
sounds so good and all that. But I also am like, somebody said to me, and I agree. It's like you had 20 years, and these are the 2 songs. Like they're not awful, but they're not memorable. I'm going to be
Yeah.
pissed when one inevitably gets nominated for an Oscar just because that's what the purpose of it was
That's
for.
yeah.
Like Golden is gonna sweep. There's no way Golden's not winning Best Original Song. But like I want Baby from Freakier Friday to be nominated over either
Oh,
Wicked song.
yes.
And I don't think that's gonna happen. So, but
I just want
ultimately,
Take Me
love it.
Away, even though the actual song came out in Freaky Friday. Give me Take Me Away for Song of the Year.
Yeah, that it
No,
won't happen.
yeah,
But
honestly.
I do love that idea. And everyone's talking about No Good Deed, which is phenomenal. But I really loved As Long as You're Mine. I'm such a harmony sucker.
I did forget to mention that one. It was so good.
I loved, and some people, we had this discussion on Phase Hero. I've had people be like, it wasn't horny enough. And I'm like, I don't know. I think it was just horny enough. Like, I think I was like, this is scandalocious. I don't know. Like I was feeling it, but like at least they all sound good. And at the end of the day, Wicked Part 2 was never going to be as good as Part 1 because the second act of the musical isn't as good as the first act.
That's
Everybody
my
knows
thing.
it. We've been talking about this for 20 years. It's just a fact, and that's okay. It's okay.
That's what gets me is I'm like, everybody knows that the second act of Wicked is rushed and not that great. Like you get the Wizard of Oz tie-ins that are pretty much the only saving grace besides the songs. I'm like, you couldn't have pulled anything else out to really like you have a whole source material of a book that you could have pulled some stuff from and really padded this movie, but they're like, no, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna flesh out this second act. So I'm like, whatever. It works. It still works. It's still raking in the money. People are still gonna love it. I do agree that I don't want As Long as Your Mind to be more horny. I think it needed more kissing. Because there's a lot of kissing on this in the stage adaptation too.
One would argue that could be the same thing. But
no, I think some people are being like horny.
Yeah, I mean,
the one tweet I've seen on this is Rachel Leishman saying she wanted it hornier, so that's what I keep thinking of every time.
Oh, sorry, that was who was in my mind too. Sorry, Rachel.
Yeah,
but I'm like, they need more. We were talking about that today too, though. I was like, I just wanted there to be like a little bit more kissing involved with it. Like, I'm not talking about making out, just like maybe some pecs.
I think
a different friend texted me about it. So it's I just want to say it's not just Rachel. I had another friend say they wished it was hornier. But I think the funniest thing is you're about to have sex and you're going to put a sweater on. That's hilarious.
they said that's how we're getting our PG rating. Is she cannot wear that negligee. She has to have this ratty ass cardigan on over it. Sorry.
That's a really good point. I kind of forgot about the PG rating of it all. That I wonder how much of that was like considered to escalate, and then they were like, "Ooh, that you're right there. This gets scary later with all these monkeys. The monkeys scare people, okay? And so why don't we got to tone down the horniness to keep the PG rating?
We have to sacrifice the horniness for the monkeys. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Classic Hollywood.
So, yeah.
Always sacrificing the horniness.
Yeah, there's not enough horniness anymore. Screw you, Gen Alpha and Z, whichever one of you are actually mad about
puritanical it. Gen Z, I'm sorry, they're the puritanical ones. I'm sorry if you are a horny Gen Zer that does not fall under that category. If so, I'm not talking about you. But for the most part, Gen Z can't stand the heat.
They can't. Older Gen Z, you can hang with us. Younger Gen Z, no.
Gotta grow up a little bit first. Gotta accept the horniness. Anyways, I actually like from a spoiler 3 perspective, Jamie, I almost had the exact same review as you, where it's like I think the first Wicked was almost a 5 for me, and this one was a 4 out of 5. And the first hour, I was thinking it was going to be like a 2.5, 3 out of 5 for me. I was sitting there thinking like, God, they should have just done one movie. Whatever is coming should have been plopped on in the second half, and this should have just been a 3-hour movie because I was borderline bored for the first half, but then I got really into it. And it kind of like 45 minutes to an hour in, it kind of turns into like a fantasy epic of a musical. And I thought that was really, really fun. Like screw J.K. Rowling, but I feel like I have no other choice but to reference this. Like the broom flying scenes seemed like they were straight out of Harry Potter. They looked really, really good.
They did look good.
And like the way the
Rowling didn't create those effects for TV, so she doesn't get credit for that anyway.
Exactly. But then that's like what it reminded me of was like Goblet of Fire, him scooting around chasing, like running away from the dragons. That's what I got when I was watching Wicked, and I keep returning to the monkeys. But the monkeys, they looked incredible. They looked really, really good. The one part that like I think it was mostly practical, but like from a look perspective, I didn't really like was Scarecrow. The Scarecrow at the end. I thought that looked so weird. Not even necessarily bad, but just so weird that it took me out of the scene. Like, because all I could focus on, like, whoa, what is going on with this guy's face? But other than that, I thought it looked really incredible, and it took a while to get going for me, but then I thought it really heated up, and I really enjoyed the second half of this movie, or the second 2/3 of this movie. liked so for me personally, I like the music in the first Wicked just exponentially better. Like if Wicked as a whole, my 3 favorite songs are is it called Loathing? Well, but like that one, like Loathing,
No, it's
unadulterated loathing. I love that one. And then Popular and Dancing Through Life. I sing Dancing Through Life to my child, to my little baby, 20-month-old daughter, basically every day, and she loves it. We put it on YouTube, and the scenes where like the ladders and the stairs are like go in circles, she thinks it's hilarious, and we sing it, and it's so much fun. I love Dancing
What
Through
is
Life.
it? Sorry, it's what is this feeling? What
Yeah,
is
I
this
just
feeling?
found what is
Thank
this
you.
feeling?
Look,
Hold
it
on.
should be the name. It's a better name for the song.
It is a better name.
Those are my 3 favorites by a pretty significant margin, and so I was missing the upbeatness of the music in the first one compared to the second one. But overall, I still thought this was a really great film. Rachel, obviously, we know Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande were the standout performances. I wrote standout performances in here, but it's obviously them. But what about their performances stood out for you as exceptional, and or who were some of the other characters that stood out to you as standout performers in Wicked for Good?
Ooh, yeah. No, honestly, they're just really good at what they do. Like, it's kind of just one of those things where it's as simple as that. Like, people kind of forget that Ariana Grande, acted, and she was good at it. And now we're kind of getting to see her act a little bit more while also being able to sing. So I'm like, we get to see that. She's great. She puts so much heart into everything that she does, even when what she's given isn't a lot. You can really tell that there is a lot going on with her and consideration that she takes into that character. I don't, not necessarily like a standout performance, but I mean, Jeff Goldblum is out there having the time of his life yet again. I wonder
Just
many
being
times,
Jeff
like, did they give him
Goldblum.
a script?
Yeah, you just
Like,
think they said go be yourself, and that's exactly what we want.
yeah, I'm like, did they give him anything? Did they just put him on set and say, here you go, here's the general idea of what you're going to be doing in this specific scene? But I'm like you, TJ, and like most people, really, there's good songs in Act 2, but Act 1, it kind of really is where all of like the fan favorite popular songs are. So unless you're super familiar with with the musical itself coming into this movie, it's like a lot of songs that you may or may not know that well. So it's kind of like you have to acclimate yourself to them. But I don't know. It's one of those, everyone did a really good job. I cannot say that there was anybody I felt lacking in it. So that's my thoughts on that.
I had a thought for a second, and just like it was my brain not working properly, but I was thinking like I really liked Fiero's performance in this. I thought Fiero really grew and did a great job, and then I realized that's a character, that's not an actor, and I've seen Timothy Bailey do what he was doing as Fiero before, so like he's just great, and I already knew that. But
Yeah,
Jamie,
like,
sorry,
no, I'm saying, I'm like, we all know
yeah,
he's up there.
he's incredible. Jamie, who were your standout performers?
It's funny because I walked out of the theater and I said to Jake, I was like, Ariana was my high key MVP of the first one. And I was like, but Jeff Goldblum's kind of my MVP low key.
He's so fun. He's so fun.
I love that man so much. One of the favorite interviews I've ever done because he's just always himself. He's always like that. And it's so funny and so charming. And he's so hot. Like, I'm sorry. I think he's one of the sexiest men that have ever lived. And I think it's because like, there's no evidence that he's bi, but he has like king bi energy. Like, you know, like, and there's just something about him. He flirts with everyone. Like, he's just got it. But like, obviously Ariana and Cynthia are both incredible vocally acting. The fight scene is I love that scene. It was so much fun.
That was so fun.
I do think though, like after the first movie, I was like, oh yeah, give them Oscar nominations. Ariana should win. And Ariana should have won for Wicked because it's still insane that fucking shitty Netflix movie, whatever it was called, kept winning shit. And I'll never understand it.
We don't talk about that.
Sorry to Zoe Saldana, but like that should have been Ariana's Oscar. And for this one, I don't know if I'll be pushing as much for Oscar noms for this one for acting. I think they'll both get them. I think Ariana will probably win. But for me, was it Nina Hoth in Hedda? Like that's who I would vote for Best Supporting Actress this year.
She's
like
great.
But either way, everyone is incredible except for
Mhm.
Michelle's singing voice being the one exception. But even like all the little characters, like Bowen Yang's so fun. I love when he went Mrs. Marble. She's not married. Like he's just fun to watch. Everything about it was in the performances. But Ariana Grande was Penny in the live Hairspray years ago. And Penny was like my number one dream role. I love that character, and I hated her as Penny because, like, to me, she's an Ashley. She's not a Penny. And I was like, so when she was cast on Wicked, I was like, I don't know, but Glinda's an Ashley. Like, she's so good at this part. I don't buy her as the nerd, like, weirdo character. She's the glamorous, kind of full of herself, but she's a character, and she's excellent at it. But I'm excited to see what else she does acting wise. This like has me excited. I'm excited for the Meet the Parents 4. I think she's going to be hilarious in that movie.
Josh Hutcherson was telling a story about how he met her when they were kind of like both child starring. She was in Victorious. He was doing billions of things, obviously. And he talks about the first time he met her, and she apparently just goes up to him and says, like, so I'm like a really good singer. And he's like, cool, that's awesome. No, like really good. Like I can do the whistle thing like Mariah Carey. Oh, like that's awesome. Can I hear? And she starts singing, and he goes, oh wow, like yeah, you are really good. You're right. And that was just the whole story. And I thought that was so funny just to picture both of them as teens and Josh Hutcherson just being like, whoa, cool, bro, this is awesome. And Ariana Grande being like, listen to what I can do. And I just think it's such a funny little pairing as the two of them as tweens having that little interaction. But I was also listening to Ariana Grande on the Amy Poehler podcast recently. I think she was last week's guest. And I love the story of how Bowen Yang was not going to be allowed to do Wicked. And oh my gosh, why am I blanking on the Saturday Night Live guy who runs
Lauren
Saturday
Michaels.
Thank you. Lauren Michaels, like, just total brain fart there. Lauren Michaels like wasn't going to let him go do Wicked because he's like, no, you can't take the time off. We need you here. And so Ariana Grande personally calls his phone and has to like go on the phone to convince Bowen Yang to be able to be in this movie. And she did it. It worked. And he ended up getting the time off. So I thought that was really cool. Favorite and least favorite songs in Wicked for Good, because both of you, I'm going to be totally honest. I don't actually know which two songs were the ones that got added, because I know the important ones that were originally in Wicked for Good, but I don't remember the two songs that got added. Like I couldn't tell you the tune. I couldn't tell you what they're based on. They just kind of.
I mean, you couldn't tell us the tune because they're not memorable. Like
exactly. Yeah. Like, sorry, I don't remember what. Like when they started singing them, I was like, I'm not going to remember anything about this the second the song is over.
No Place Like Home, what Elphaba sings to the animals. That's one. Mm-hmm. And Girl in the Bubble, where Glinda sings, she's all sad and she's running around her room, that is cool. That's a cool moment, like just the film wise. But those are the two new ones.
Jamie, what were your favorite and least favorite songs?
Okay, so least favorite is absolutely No Place Like Home. That was just did not need to be there. For Good is like my favorite song in the musical in general. I love For Good. I do agree that most of the best songs are in the first act, but For Good just touches me. It's one of my go-to shower songs. It's definitely the song I sing out loud the most. But I think, as I said before, As Long as You're Mine might be my favorite, and that's because as good as No Good Deed is, I talked about this on Phase Hero. I didn't like the black and white flashes to Fiyero. I didn't think it really worked in this specific scene. It didn't work for me. But vocally, yes, that was. If we're just talking vocals, I think it would be No Good Deed was the best.
Alice in chat. Shout out Alex joining us from the Love in the Time of Hydra chat, coming over to hang out with us now to talk some Wicked. She says her favorite is For Good, least favorite No Place Like Home as well. Rachel, how about you? Favorite and least favorite?
Yeah, least favorite is definitely No Place Like Home. Like, sorry to them, but it was not a good one, and I've already forgotten how it goes. I could not sing a single measure of that song for you at this moment if you asked me to. At least Girl in the Bubble, I'm like, I can kind of remember that one. That one's like a little bit more fun. But yeah, I mean, like I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, like I have a special relationship to For Good, but I also really love Thank Goodness, just because it's the one that has the most callbacks to the first act, and it's so pretty.
Zippy.
That's what I love. Yes, and that's probably like my second favorite. No Good Deed, obviously great, but I think if I had to go for like a number one, it's gonna be For Good, because I'm constantly singing that one when I'm just like wandering around the house.
I want to give an honorable mention to Wonderful, only because of the like the bigness of it, like all the lighting and everything. I like this half of the musical is like a lot of standing and singing, which is like it's hard to do in a film. And that one, they're like, all right, this is one where we can do a lot, and they did.
They did do a lot with that one, and it was fun. It's like they got to have a lot, like when anything with the wizard, you get to kind of have a little bit of whimsy, and Jeff Goldblum makes that so easy.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but did Glinda sing in the did she sing in the Broadway version? Did she add her zhuzh and Wonderful, or were they like, maybe Jeff's a good singer, he's not a great singer, maybe we should give a little Glinda in the background? Because I don't remember her singing in that. It could be. It's been a while.
I don't think she does, because I'm like, honestly, I can't remember, and I'm looking at the OBC right now on Spotify.
Alice confirming. Confirming.
Okay.
Glinda. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because I'm like Elphaba sings, but not Glinda. Okay. So yeah, we're that is correct.
Trivia time before we continue. Which member of the Wicked for Good cast has also played a role in the MCU, the DCU, and Star Wars universes?
It's not the question I was expecting, so now I have to like move back my brain. I feel like I should know this.
You can think about it. You can think about it.
No. Michelle
plays two roles in the MCU.
She does.
Yeah.
One's a little forgettable in Guardian of the Galaxy Volume 2, but she rocks in Shang-Chi.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like this is...
I want to let both of you think about it a little bit. We will come back to it. But I got to say, like, this was the thing I was probably most shocked about, and I admittedly have no idea how many lines the Cowardly Lion has in the Broadway musical. But why the fuck are we casting Coleman Domingo for a line and a half? I thought this was going to be a role. I thought he was going to be heavily involved. I was excited for Coleman Domingo. He had one line and then another half line. That was it.
I said this on Phased Hero. That's why they announced him ahead of time, because no one would have noticed. Like,
yeah, I would not have known that was him the first time through. There is no way I would have caught that.
So when watching the first one, the little lion gets removed from the cage, and I turn to Ava and I go, and that lion grows up to be the Cowardly Lion. And she just looks at me deadpan like, yeah, man, duh. Like, yeah, he does. Like,
yeah, good catch.
It took me a minute or two to clue into Bach as the Tin Man, but I eventually got there. And then Jonathan Bailey at Fierro turning into the Scarecrow. That one I caught pretty quickly. What did we think about these three characters? I was pretty disappointed of how, not underused, because that's how much he's supposed to be used, the Cowardly Lion was, but I just thought it would be a little bit more. I thought the Tin Man was terrifying, but I thought the performance and the look was good. And then the Scarecrow, I love Jonathan Bailey, I love Fierro, but man, I thought that looked freaky. Jamie, what did you think of the trio?
Jake and I didn't know until last night that the Scarecrow was practical and not CGI, and I'm like, oh, it looks like, I can't believe that wasn't CGI. It looked so funky.
I saw the mask without anybody in it, and it's fucking terrifying.
Terrifying. And like, I just can't stop thinking about what his burlap dick will look like, but that's, what can you say? I'm so sorry. You can mute that out if this was meant to be it for
No, that's
but
but when we were just starting up, when Agents of Fandom was less than a year old, I used to advertise us as the places your phase hero host will come to say fuck. Because we were just like,
True.
you guys were still at the old place, right? So it was not allowed to swear. And so we had a run where it was like, you 1 week, Jenna the next, Aaron the next, BD the next. And it was just like, I got to get everybody to say fuck at least one time.
It's true. I do have to wind it down a little bit. I love the look of the Tin Man, though. I think that like Ethan did come through as terrifying. I'm not a fan of any CGI animal, but I also know that casting a lion in a movie is wrong because I went to this place called Lions and Tigers and Bears outside of San Diego, and they made us watch a 15-minute video about how putting animals in movies is really bad. And I was like, fuck, but the CGI animals look terrible. So I'm torn. But no, I hate, no, I'm not torn. Don't do it. It's bad. But I do think that CGI animals, like, they don't work for me, and I don't like the way they look in these movies. But also, what are you going to do? Like, they're not going to do the classic Wizard of Oz thing. That was clear. They're not going to do what they do in the stage show. This is the choice thing. So, I do think it's really funny that like Tin Man doesn't get an ending. Like, you just have to assume that he gets, like, it's the same as Wizard of Oz, and he gets his heart and leaves on. But I think it's really funny the last time you see him talk, he's like, I'm gonna kill that witch, and then that's it. Bye.
Giving like an all-time motivational speech of like, I'm gonna kill her, we're gonna kill them all, like,
and to be never seen again.
Stuff. And he pops in. Ethan Slater pops in as a villain in the newest season of Gen V as well, and he does a really good job in that. He pops in for a role, and he's creepy and he's sneaky, and so no spoilers, but he does a fun job in that one. I don't think. Oh, I did want to touch on the Wicked Witch of the East, because I thought Nessa's story was so trash. This was the part of the movie that I'm sitting there thinking, I don't know if there is more either in the book or in the stage show that kind of gets omitted from Nessa's story. But literally, she's just like, I miss my boyfriend. I'm the Wicked Witch of the East. But nobody hears her say it. She just kind of says it to herself, and then she doesn't fully commit to it. She's just like, maybe if my sister's the Wicked Witch of the West, maybe I'm the Wicked Witch of the East. And then she just dies, and now people refer to her as that. I feel like I was missing a lot of Nessa context and storyline that just didn't get included in this movie.
I've never read the book, so I don't know what her character is like in the book. This is what you get in the stage musical. You have to infer that she is evil based on her actions alone, and then the one time she says those words and you go, oh my god, she is.
I want a full prequel for Madame Morrible, because I want to know how this lady got her insane magical powers. Why is she so angry? Why is she so devious? But I just need like a couple more lines on Nessa. Like, just give me a few more lines on why she's the Wicked Witch of the East.
This is one of the things they could have expanded on
100%.
in the second act.
100%.
We talked about this a little bit on Phase Hero, but like the thing is, like, I think they do a good job in both movies of like, yeah, Nessa sucks. She sucks. She's like not a good sister. She sucks. And like, and it doesn't really, the Wicked Witch of the East thing, that doesn't really bother me for two reasons. One, because like it could have been repeated. There could have been some servant in the back corner that heard it. But also, we never hear anyone else in this movie call her that. So it's not, and I said this on Phase Hero too, to me, this is not a one-to-one of the Wizard of Oz movie. It's a different universe. So like we the audience are like, oh, Wicked Witch of the East, the house gets dropped on her, but like she is never referred to that by anybody else.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things you just kind of take with what you're given, and know that like you said, Jamie, it's not directly related to the Wizard of Oz. It is kind of one of those things that's like parallel.
If it was, the shoes would be red. If they were trying to make it like fit with the movie, I think they specifically and the shoes aren't red in the musical, or in the book, or originally.
It was a cool touch of like they turn red when she's feeling good, when she's feeling that was a cool touch, and then to have it like switch back after. And if this is like kind of a weird nitpick, But I think if I were to, I would have pulled 5 minutes somewhere from that first 45 minutes of the movie to cut out or to shorten and give a little bit more backstory to Nessa and her potential. You know, she doesn't necessarily have magical powers, but she can read the books, so she's got a little bit of them. And why her shoes were important to Dorothy. Like, it kind of just seemed, I don't know, it seemed like, I was going to call her Cynthia. It seemed like Alphaba popped in and she was more upset that the shoes were gone than that her sister died. And I know a lot of that comes down to when you're grieving, you're just trying to latch on to the last thing you have of somebody who's gone. I totally get that. But just that sequence, I could have used a little bit more on. Could have used a little bit more story.
Fair.
Yep, that's valid.
Jamie, were there any other changes or pieces of the story we have not talked about that you want to touch on before we give our final thoughts, ratings, and get out of here?
I think we really did a good job. We really covered it. I think that the big, most important thing that they do in the movie, and I said this on Phase Hero, but it's worth repeating, is that they say, "I love you." That's a big one. That's a big special edition that we get.
That was something that I liked, and something that Ava told me, like, the somewhat ambiguity of, is this friendship love, is this romantic love, that doesn't really exist in the stage play to the same extent. It's a lot more clear friendship line, whereas the movie blurs it a little bit.
I've said a lot, like I was never a gay Glinda truther for the musical, but in this movie, or for the movie, I'm a super duper gay Glinda truther, and I like that. It's fun.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Gay Linda, not Galinda, am I right?
I'm leaving.
I'm leaving. I love a pun. Early. Come on.
No, it was
Rachel,
good. It was really
I am
good.
a pun hater, I'll be honest.
Funnier than me.
Rachel, any other final thoughts that we haven't touched on yet?
No, we really did kind of go through everything. Like, my only real critique, and it could change when I see it again, is that there are just some things I wish they could have used the time in the second movie to expand on. Other than that, like, it's fun. People are gonna like it. Like, even if it's not rated as high as the first Wicked, again, the first Wicked, A, was really hard to top, and B, just, if I don't like it as much, that doesn't mean I still don't like it. I'm still gonna enjoy it. I'm still gonna rewatch it because I love Wicked. And I love everything that these actors have brought to these characters. And kind of getting able to see this production in a film, finally, and getting to see it that way. So it's good. It's fun. People will like it.
The one thing I did think there was, like you said, I think there were story aspects I would have liked to see expanded on a little bit, but I think they did do a really good job in both Wicked and Wicked for Good. But I honestly noticed it more in Wicked for Good at enhancing the background, the story, the visuals in ways that you could not do even a little bit on a stage show, of just like turning it into kind of that fantasy epic style of storytelling with people flying through the air and these fast action cuts. I thought that was really cool and something you wouldn't be able to do in the stage musical. Final guesses. Who do we think? What cast member in Wicked for Good has also played a role in the MCU, DCU, and Star Wars universe?
I feel stupid for not knowing.
I don't know.
It's got to be
feel stupid because it's slightly a trick question.
Yeah, I figured
but the answer is D. Bradley Baker.
Of course. Who's he in Wicked? Wait, who does he voice in Wicked?
All the monkeys.
Oh, that's it. That's it.
I can't remember the main monkey's name, but when he talks at the end, that's all Bradley Baker.
History.
I did not know that. Wow, that's a fun
fact. I knew he did. Like, he does all kinds of animal voices, so I should have figured that he would be the one to do that.
But he's, of course, all the animals, beasts, and as well as all the clones in the Star Wars universe animated stuff. He is in the DCU. He is Eagly in Peacemaker. In the MCU, I do think
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I do remember reading that.
More than just this, but off the top of my head, I remember that he is Morris in Shang-Chi. And so he's like any beast or animal of any kind, it's always going to be D. Bradley Baker. And so when I saw him in the credits listed for History, I was like, my guy, let's go. Get that check. I love it. The absolute king. The absolute king of all the different animal noises. we've teased it, but we've mostly talked about out of 5. So I want to know, Jamie, what's your rating out of 10 for Wicked for Good?
On Face Hero, I gave it a 9, so I'll stick with that. I'd like to say that Wicked in 2024 was my favorite movie of 2024, and currently Wicked for Good is ranked number 5. So high, but not nearly as high.
Rachel, how about you?
I think out of 10, I would give it like a 7.8. Like, it's up there, it's solid. It's not my favorite, but I can overlook it for the most part. But I can't in good conscience give it like an 8.5 or a 9.
Fair.
I'm gonna go with a hard 8 on this one. I really, really enjoyed it. First half kind of dragged for me, but then it was more than saved in this. I shouldn't say half, second 2/3 of it. We got Alice in chat giving it a 9.6 out of 10. Love to see it. What did you think of Wicked for Good? I wanted to do this as early as possible just to kind of give as many people when they see it a chance to go see it. Figured we'd probably sacrifice some of our live viewers in case people didn't get a chance to see it opening weekend. But alas, let us know what you thought when you get to go see it. Let us know what you thought at Agents Fandom on TikTok and Twitter, Agents of Fandom everywhere else. Hit the like button on this video. Help us battle that YouTube algorithm, grow the community, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on our Wake Up Dead Man and Knives Out mystery, Stranger Things, Percy Jackson and the Olympians, Wonder Man, Avatar. So much great stuff coming up in the near future. Jamie, where can the people find your 2 wonderful podcasts? Where can they find you on socials?
Oh, it's at Lido Pod on Instagram and like Blue Sky Threads, and then you can find out all about our episodes coming up. If you're an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fan, we've had an insane 3rd season. We've had Elizabeth Henstridge on. We've had multiple directors. We've had VFX artists, writers, makeup artists, everything. And then in a couple weeks, we have another really exciting guest that I'm not announcing yet, but keep an eye out because it's cool. And then Phase Hero, we're always doing our Phase Hero business. Follow that pod. Lots of fun over there. And then at Jamie Jirak on like Instagram and Letterboxd, because I'm nearing my 600th movie of the year, so keep an eye out.
Ooh.
Hell yeah. I am since I downloaded and like actually signed in to Letterboxd at the beginning of August, I'm over 90. So I haven't checked the whole year, but I'm at over 90 since the beginning of August. So I'm pretty proud of that.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
Rachel, how about you? Oh, no, I want to give one more shout out to the Love and the Time of Hydra podcast before I throw it to Rachel, because one, obviously, if you love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., check it out. It's great. Like Jamie said, some incredible guests, but something so underrated with the podcast that I think ever since the pandemic began, so many of us search for, long for, and appreciate is the community. The community is awesome. The community is so good. You show up to a live show. I've only gotten to go to 2 live shows of season 2 so far. I've mostly just been checking on the podcast feed after the fact. But I love showing up to the live shows because the whole chat is so welcoming, so knowledgeable, and really, really enjoyable to chat with. So not just shout out to the Love and the Time of Hydra pod, but the live viewers as well. Make sure you check it out. Rachel, where can the people find you on socials? The person with the widest variety of coolest names on all the different social medias. Where can the people find you, and where can they find your work?
Oh gosh, yeah, I have no consistency whatsoever on any of my social media handles. So you can find me on Twitter, which I don't use super often, at Tempest Teacup. Instagram, which I use more, at Just a Waste of Death. And if you want to follow me on Blue Sky, it's less fandom related these days, but that's at End of a Dream. But yeah, currently focusing on the Hazbin Hotel podcast, which you can find at Hazbin Hotel Pod on TikTok and Instagram and Twitter, which again I don't really use, but it's there. It exists. But you can find my work bopping around, doing things for the Mary Sue. I do their socials, writing for that hashtag show, starting to do some stuff for Popternative, so that's exciting. And catch me in various other places. You might see my name pop up occasionally. I'm always out and about freelancing, looking for things to do.
Same.
Hire me. I'm poor.
I would if I could. You'd be 2 of the very first. If I all of a sudden came into some money and was like, "Hey, I'm going to turn Agents of Fandom into a job. We're making this a career today." You'd be two of the very first people that I would that would be on my call sheets. So if you have some money that you want to invest and donate, maybe donate more than invent to me.
Donate
so
to
I
our
can,
GoFundMe.
yeah, to our GoFundMe so we can hire all of our best friends and have a really great time. That would be awesome. Thank you so much to those who tuned in. Shout out to our new friend Alex tuning in for her first live show today. We hope to see you again here in the future. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Rachel. Like I said, you are two of my favorite people in this world. It is so fun to hang out with you. Can't wait to link up again for another podcast soon. That'll do it. Thank you so much to everyone who tuned in. We will see you next time. On behalf of myself, Jamie, and Rachel, peace.